Surely the answer to that problem in Ireland, where they can't bury that bloke, is just send in the police dogs and they'll eat the body. It'll save a lot of messing about, won't it? Just be a few bones then, make glue out of him.
Ring him if you dare.
Allan Beswick, the late night show.
Mind you, the dogs would probably die. If you wish to join us on the phone in, the number is Preston 561,000. It's very nearly 4 minutes past 11.
Red Rose Radio.
Now then, Stuart, where were we?
Yeah, I was talking about the press's reaction to Margaret Thatcher's visit to Russia.
Yes.
I think it was inevitably going to be seen as a success by the Tory press, and I think, nothing tangible was achieved as a result.
Do you think it was a success?
Certainly not. I think it was blown out of all proportions. And the way that they criticised Kleenex, I mean, when good meets evil, it's bound to fail, isn't it?
Well, having said that, do you believe good met evil in Russia?
Well, I think...
yes or no,
really
we'll do
evil,
for now.
Slightly evil.
Oh, really evil met slightly evil.
Yeah.
Why do you think it was a failure?
Well, nothing, I mean...
What was the objective of the visit?
Well, to establish better relations between the two countries. I mean,
Do you think it succeeded in that?
No, not in terms of the Cold War that exists between them, no. Not so.
I rather thought the Cold War was ended.
Well, come off it.
What do you consider, well, what would you have considered to have been a successful meeting?
Well, as far as Thatcher's concerned...
What would you have considered to have been a successful meeting? Let us not beat about the bush.
With regard to nuclear missiles.
She never went there with any intention of negotiating such a thing. Indeed, Gorbachev
wasn't more cautious than Reagan Thatcher, isn't she?
That's irrelevant. You're discussing, or we are attempting to discuss, having eliminated what Mussolini press means, we're attempting to discuss whether the meeting was a success or not.
Yeah.
Now, if a team goes out to play a game and they win 1-0, it's a success. No, it's not a success if they win 1-0. I'm sorry, it's obviously difficult to talk to an imbecile.
Hello.
Good night, cretin. How do, Chris?
Hello, Alan.
Yes.
I was reading in the Observer the other day about a country in the northern Africa called Mauritania, and it's going on about it's a land of droughts, but if it had the money to irrigate it, then it could be a profitable business because they could make the land because the soil is good with the water. And I was wondering, Alan, have you got anything against going arse up and putting some money and investing it in it?
Going what?
Investing some money in it, in a business adventure.
Unfortunately, I don't have any money.
Do you know, have you ever heard about Mauritania?
I don't have any money.
Come off it, Alan, you work on Red Rose.
On Thursday the 7th of May, Red Rose Radio and National Travel World offer you a 4-day trip of a lifetime to New York on Concorde from Manchester. You'll leave Manchester early on Thursday to fly faster than a bullet at 60,000 feet, enjoying an excellent champagne lunch to arrive in New York before you started. The home of monarchs and presidents will be your hotel, the Waldorf Astoria. And during your stay, you'll dine in the world-famous Windows on the World restaurant on the 107th floor of the World Trade Center, and enjoy a guided coach tour of New York. There'll be plenty of time for you to explore on your own and buy presents before you return to Manchester on Sunday the 10th of May. When you consider this trip of a lifetime normally costs £2,000, our price of £999 per person must be the bargain of a lifetime. Brought to you by Red Rose Radio and National Travel World. Seats are limited, so make sure of yours now by contacting Red Rose Radio reception or call at any branch of National Travel World.
How do, Mark?
About fellatio.
How do, Michael? Goodbye, Malkiel. We haven't got all night to wait for some bum-brained cretins such as you. How do, Susan? Well, it seems they're all bum-brained tonight. How do, Paul? How do, line 1? Lee?
Hello, I'd like to make a complaint, Alan.
What's your complaint?
About your show. Do you not think it's...
It's not a show.
About your programme. Do you not think it's on too late? I mean, 11 till 2 in the morning, I mean...
Well, for a start, it's on 10 till 2, and it's the only way we can keep imbecilic little children such as you off, but it's obviously failed this time. Go to bed. How do, Alan?
Hello, Alan?
Yes.
Mr. Smith, is it true or not that you are the Nissan man?
Well, really,
Is it not true, Mr. Smith, that you have already performed several superhuman car deals?
Well, yes, I do try to give my customers the best service, but you must please excuse me. I've got a dash. Pardon me, ma'am, is there a phone kiosk around here anywhere?
There's one over by the foyer, sir.
Thanks.
There's the Nissan man!
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm needed elsewhere. Someone, somewhere, wants a new car.
Mr. Smith is the Nissan man at Morling Bolton.
Senator, Britain's largest sunbed manufacturer, now offer their exciting 1987 range featuring ProTan, the super-fast professional tanning tube. See the wide range of sunbeds only at the following Senator main dealers: Lancashire Solarium, Queens Mill, Ripon Street, Preston; Darwin Sun Leisure, 56 Blackburn Road, Darwin, and 3 Preston New Road, Blackburn; and Terry Brown UVA sunbeds, Wallpaper Supplies Building, Library Street, Wigan, and 22 Lee Road, Lee. Senator and ProTan, the professional way to tan at home.
Benjamin knows a great many things. He knows the breaking strain of his teddy bear's left leg. He knows 5 whole nursery rhymes by heart. And, yes, if the truth be told, he knows just how much lovely, soft Kleenex velvet toilet tissue he needs to lower his teddy safely from the landing to the hall below. Unfortunately, this fascinating experiment in tensile strength has also revealed his mother's breaking strain.
Kleenex Velvet. Softness is our strength.
Benjamin wants a good thrashing. How do, Brian? Thank you, Brian. How do, Peter?
Hello, Alan. I'd like to say that in these prisons, they shouldn't allow the inmates to pump weights and iron and become dead strong like.
Dead strong like what?
Well, when they come out, they can beat everyone up, can't they?
Strength doesn't make you able to beat people up.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, they've got a psychological factor, haven't they, when they come out?
They've got a what? They have a what?
Psychological factor that they're dead strong. And they're becoming dead fit, aren't they? They shouldn't be made weaker.
I see. What purpose would that serve?
Well, they'd stop bullying all these old women, wouldn't they?
Well, I don't suppose many people are in prison, in terms of proportions, for bullying old women.
Yeah, well, they're in there to be punished, and they're getting all fit and stuff.
I don't think many of the people that actually use a billiard ball in a sock to assault an old lady are actually doing it because they're stronger than them. Do you?
No.
Quite. How do, Chris?
Hello. I wonder if you could tell me how the television companies and radio companies calculate their ratings for the viewers and listeners.
Yes, I could, but it's exceptionally boring.
Oh. Yeah, well, I was just wondering about television, really. That was the main point.
Television is a telephone pole.
Telephone pole?
Yes.
So, I mean, if they say EastEnders, they say 23.4 million. Well, that,
They don't make 23.4 million phone calls. They have a viewing panel. They phone that viewing panel, ask them what they watched last night, and then project the figure upwards. How do, Philip?
Alan? I'd like to talk to you about fishing.
Then do so.
You're always saying about...
Don't tell me what I'm saying. Tell me what you want to say.
Well, I don't think it is cruel.
Why not? Probably because you're not a fish, but why else not?
Biologists have proved that fish haven't got much feeling in the lips. They can't feel it.
Well, just a moment. Which have biologists proved?
Well, it's been proved.
Well, just a moment. You see, you've just made 2 separate statements which, in fact, contradict each other. You said they haven't got much feeling in the lip, therefore they can't feel it.
No.
Well, much feeling means there is some.
Yeah, but not
you
enough
accept...
to be...
Well, Philip, who are you to decide how much pain is acceptable?
Well, they've actually proved it.
Well, let me prove it to you, how wrong they are.
Right.
Being held underwater doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt at all.
Right.
Don't bother you. You don't feel a thing.
Right.
A lot of people in Zeebrugge disagree with me. But I'm right. You don't feel a thing. You just die. Now, your brain feels an awful lot because you start thinking, oh, crap, I'm going to die here.
Yeah.
Now, that worries you a bit, and that is cruelty.
Oh.
Good night. How do, Anne?
Hello. Hello, Alan.
Hello.
Hello. I wonder if you can help. I've just recently moved house 2 days ago, and part of the contract, which was signed by both myself and the person who bought my house, included some... Oh, my God, there's my cats fighting outside.
Well, I hope they win.
Part of the contract was that he bought certain items of furniture, carpets, curtains, and some pine furniture from me. Now, he paid for this, although it was in the contract, he paid for this with a cheque, which he gave me about 4 days ago. I received a telephone call this morning from the bank to say he'd stopped the cheque. I was a bit concerned about this because obviously the money that he'd given me for this was going towards some new furniture which I had paid on my access card, which I was going to pay back when I got the money from him.
Which you're now not going to get straight away.
So what's happened is I phoned this gentleman up tonight, and
It doesn't matter, you phoned the person up, yes.
And he said that because when I took some of the fittings down, some from the bathroom, there was a rip in the wallpaper. Also, there was marks where I'd removed bathroom cabinets. I also arranged to take some roses out of the garden, which he's now saying is all wrong. He's stopped the cheque, and that he's put it in the hands of his solicitor.
He's got a fairly strong case.
Has he?
If you've taken cabinets down, as far as I'm aware, they're fixtures and fittings.
Oh, no, he'd already knew.
You'd agreed that?
Oh, yes, it's all agreed. Everything that I've taken, he agreed that I took. The bathroom cabinet.
Have you any evidence?
Yeah, he's agreed on the telephone tonight that was right, and he said...
I asked you, have you any evidence? I didn't ask you whether he's agreed on the telephone. Have you got anything you can prove that statement with?
Yes, it's all in the contract.
Then I don't see what the problem is, other than he's obviously a snake in the grass. I suggest that you write to him and tell him you want the terms of the contract honoured, you want your money, otherwise you'll be seeing him in the county court.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
You might like to use your solicitor to do it, seeing as how you're in contact with him anyway.
So if it's down in the contract, then I can really take it further.
Indeed, you can take it further if it isn't in the contract, but it's harder to prove it if you've not got it written down. But if you have got it written down, then your case is considerably stronger. It's easier to win the case with.
He's not concerned about the fact that I took the bathroom cabinet, which we did agree on.
He's bothered about the bit of damage to the wallpaper.
But it was just impossible to do because some of the things...
Well, again, the court has to eventually, if it goes to court, debate what is and is not reasonable damage. There is inevitably going to be damage when you, or at least there's going to be a mark.
Well, this is it. There's a few rips in the bathroom wallpaper, and I have left him the replacement wallpaper.
Well, again, it's down to what is reasonable. If you've agreed that you will take down the bathroom cabinet and take it with you, then he has to expect that there will be a space there.
Yes.
He can't expect you to renovate the place or repair the decorations unless that was agreed.
That's right. Well, it's not that part that he's concerned about. He's concerned about the part where I've taken a little spray off the wall, a little deodorant spray, and it was one of these where you rip the back off and you stick it on the wall. Well, when I took it off, it ripped some of the wallpaper, and that's the one it's about as half the size of my hand, the rip in the wallpaper. That's the part that he's concerned about, and he said...
I don't, for the life of me, I what the hell did you take it down for?
Well, it was...
How much are they?
Sentimental value, really, that was...
Sentimental value? An aerosol?
Somebody gave it to me.
Well, for crying out loud, love, an aerosol?
Well, it was a China one, it wasn't...
Oh, I see.
Yes, it was.
And it was just stuck up with glue?
It was a foreign one, and it was the way it was fixed to the wall.
Well, all I can say is, what a potty thing to do. Sentimentality don't half cost you a lot of brass sometimes. It ain't worth a light. Anyway, the argument is he may well be able to claim to have that piece of wallpaper repaired.
Yeah.
But I very much doubt it, to be honest. But it's a matter of...
It's not worth 1,200 quid.
I would say not, no. He could decorate the whole damn house for that.
Yes,
so what I suggest you do is get the letter off. In fact, have a word with your solicitor. Those kind of monies, you want the guy nailing to the wall. He's a yard dog.
Okay.
I do not understand when people move house. I cannot for the life of me. And I've moved house dozens of times myself. And I can't for the life of me understand why they take the light bulbs.
Oh, well, I've left
And why they
all
take...
for him.
I know, but they do it all the time. They take the light bulbs. You mean there's no bloody light bulbs there? What a load of thieving yard dogs.
Yeah. I've left him all kinds of things. I've left him a bell, a chimer, and I've left him a porch light. I've left all kinds for him, but he wants... But because there's marks on the walls where I've taken these things down, he's stopped it.
Well, and the guy is a no-mark trying it on. I hope you nail him to the wall. All right?
Thanks,
Cheers.
Alan. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. How do Barry? Mary, sorry.
Mary.
Yeah.
Hi, Alan.
Hiya.
I wonder if you could help me. I've got a terrible weight problem, overweight, and it depresses me a lot, you know.
Then eat less. That might sound like a stupid answer, but Mary, that's the only way to lose weight. Eat less.
You know, people seem to, call you fat and everything.
Well, I'm not interested in what they call you, Mary. It's up to you whether you like being fat or not. They call me fat. I don't care.
Fat, no.
Well, if you don't like being fat, get thin. Eat less.
Well, don't you think the magazines sort of make it out that...
Mary, Mary, I'm overweight. I don't care.
Oh.
So it's down to what you care about. If you want to be thinner, eat less. If you're happy as you are, carry on as you are. It comes down to that. There's now in the middle.
Because my boyfriend says if I don't lose any weight, he's going to finish with me. What do you think of that?
Well, I think you've got yourself a lousy boyfriend. I think you want rid of him anyway. He's a jerk.
Oh, okay then. Thanks
All right.
a lot.
Ta-ra. How do Billy?
Hello.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about drugs, really. Two in particular, alcohol and cannabis. It seems silly to me that you can purchase alcohol in this country up to 14 hours a day, yet it's illegal to smoke cannabis, which in my opinion is far less harmful than alcohol. Alcohol, as you know, claims many deaths a year to alcohol-related diseases to the liver, yet cannabis, which is still a stimuli, does not have any sort of bad effect as alcohol long term.
Well, first of all, we don't know that.
Well,
we don't know that.
When did you last hear of a person dying of a cannabis overdose?
I've never heard of anybody dying of a cannabis overdose, but that wasn't what you said.
Yeah, it was. I mean, if I was to go out and drink...
Billy, when did you last hear of somebody dying... When did you last hear of somebody dying of a tobacco overdose?
When I talk about tobacco, I'm talking about alcohol and
Billy,
cannabis.
listen to the question. Never mind why I'm asking it for the time being. I know your intellect doesn't stretch that far, but here is the question again. When did you last hear of somebody dying of a tobacco overdose?
Well,
When did you last hear of somebody dying of a tobacco overdose? Answer the question, Billy.
Well, when somebody died...
Answer the question, Billy. When did you last hear of somebody dying of a tobacco overdose? Ever?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
You're a liar, Billy.
No.
They died of a tobacco overdose? That was on their death certificate? Overdose of tobacco? Is that what was on the death certificate, Billy? Then I'll ask you the question again, you lying little toad. When did you last hear of somebody dying of a tobacco overdose?
Never.
Quite. That is probably why you have never heard of anybody dying of a cannabis overdose. They don't die of that.
No, but...
They die of something else, don't they, Billy? In tobacco, they die of lung cancer, they die of heart disease, they die of all kinds of things, don't they, Billy?
Overdose, but alcohol...
No, not overdose, Billy. They die of all kinds of things. Now, we do not know yet what the long-term effects of cannabis are. We do not know. The reason we do not know is it's very difficult to find out when the thing is illegal.
Yeah, but if you take...
When you say yeah, but, does that mean you agree with me or that you're thinking?
If you take...
Which does it mean, Billy? Billy, which does it mean?
What?
Yeah, but.
Yeah, but means I'm thinking.
That's all right. It's just you said it, and I, for a second, thought you agreed with me, and now I realise you didn't.
Well, I'm not on the phone to disagree, or I'm just trying...
I'm not interested in what you're on the phone for, Billy. Just get on.
ideas about and see what we come up with, okay?
Well, what we've come up with so far is that we are not aware whether cannabis is harmful in the long term. Do you agree?
No.
You don't agree. How do you know that cannabis is not harmful in the long term?
Because related to other drugs...
How do you know?
Which is what I got on the phone to compare...
We're not interested in the comparison for the time being. You've just made a statement that you do not agree that cannabis may be harmful in the long term. You're saying that you know it is not.
Because if you realise that...
Billy, I'm not interested in this real liars crap. Billy, 40 years ago, the Minister of Health stood up in the Houses of Parliament and told Parliament that tobacco was useful, was actually good for you. Nicotine and smoking was good for you.
Well,
that is what he said. He was wrong.
How do you think you smoke cannabis?
I'm not interested in how you... Billy, I'm not interested in how you smoke it. Oh, in that case, you're telling me it...
Pi Motors don't stay ahead in the motoring world by standing still. They keep on offering truly unbeatable deals, like super low-rate finance on all Fiestas, Escorts and Orions. Ask for written details. And because Pi Motors are the area's main Ford dealer, that means more choice, a better service, and the keenest prices. They have an outstanding range of quality used cars too, and are the area's main distributor of Iveco Ford trucks. Come and see what keeps Pi Motors one step ahead of the rest at Parliament Street, Lancaster and Northgate, Morecambe.
Motors. Preston late night shopping every Wednesday. But this Wednesday there's even more shops open. That means more choice, more value, more convenience. Oh, and free parking too at St George's after 4:30.
So come on down, 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 down to St George's Centre.
Tom Jones, from minor son to megastar, from 1964 to 1987, and a string of hits that include such classics as The Green Green Grass, Delilah, Help Yourself, What's New Pussycat, and It's Not Unusual. I'm Ian Lonsdale, and I'll be talking to Tom Jones on Wednesday the 8th of April between 4 and 5 in the afternoon. To find out more about the life and career of Tom Jones, do join me then here on Red Rose.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
So don't miss Tom Jones here on Red Rose Radio, Wednesday the 8th of April between 4 and 5.
And you may have worked out already that is tomorrow. How do Charlie?
Hello, Alan. I want to know, why are you against smoking?
Because it kills you.
Well, not in a way.
Sorry?
No, not really.
What do you mean, not really?
It can't. I'll agree. It does lead to lung cancer, but I don't think. Really, it takes quite a bit of time before, say 70s, like you can feel coughing and stuff like that.
What do you mean the 70s? Do you mean 1970s, or
No,
do you
I
mean you've
mean-
got to wait until you're 70?
No, like 16, 17, 18, 19, up to you're like age 70, if you know what I mean.
No, it doesn't take that long.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Why?
Why? What do you mean,
Yeah.
why?
Well, I'll...
Charlie, go back to school, little boy. I haven't got the time to talk to children who ought really to be spending most of their life concentrating on mother, not sticking the nappy pin in them. Go away. Hello, David.
Hello?
Yes?
There's a nuclear explosion in Liverpool.
I didn't hear it. I'll do line 5, Phil. No Phil. Oh, my glad. I'll do Philip.
Yes. I'd like to ask you whether, if I go away for 6 months to Australia and leave the key with my brother, whether the landlord, which is a housing association, can demand to have a key. They're saying I have to leave a key with them.
I've no idea.
I can't ask them to sign a declaration that they'll be responsible if I leave a key with them, can I?
I've no idea.
Oh dear.
I know nothing about housing.
Ah, okay then.
Sorry. I'll do Vicky. Oh, it's Dickie. I'll do Dickie.
Hi, it's Alan.
Yes?
Yeah, I was watching the telly this morning, and it shows statistics that the Conservative were in the lead in the opinion poll.
Yes.
And I was just wondering if we, the working class people, if we all still vote when the general elections come along, if we all still vote, the working class people, are we still the minority to the other people like businesses who are going to vote Conservative? Whether we vote or not, are we still a minority?
It depends on what you mean by working class people. It used to be the case that if you could motivate everybody to vote, then Labour would win. But I very much doubt that that's the case now.
But the likes of, say a restaurant owner, I mean, he's obviously going to vote Conservative.
Well, no, it isn't as simple as that. I obviously the circles I move in, I move in circles where some of the people are very wealthy and some of them are very poor. And I know very poor people...
Conservative are looking after their interests, aren't they?
Well, I know poor people who vote Tory, and I know rich people who vote Labour. And I know people like me who have no idea what class they are. Am I working class? Am I middle class? What am I these days? I think I'm probably middle class now.
Oh.
But my values are still working class, I think. I don't know. I don't know where the lines are drawn.
But what would you rather be, or a wasp?
It was funny last night. It gets boring after 2 nights. How did Diane?
Diane.
Yes.
Hello, Alan.
Hello.
I wonder if you can help me out. Up to 3 weeks ago, I own my own house. I've just got a divorce from my husband, and he was in my husband's name and my own name. We split up, and since then, I've met somebody else, and the mortgage has gone in my name and my common-law husband's name. I've got 2 children, and up to present, I'm going all wrong here, I'm sorry. Things have been going wrong, and, oh God, what do I say? Things have been going wrong, and if we split up, can I have my share of the house put in my children's name? Can they... Do you know when you sort of you sort of separate? Can my children, if I make a will, can it go into my children's name, my half of the property?
I'm going to have to ask you a few questions.
Yes.
If you mean when you die, will your children inherit your value in the property?
Yeah.
The answer's yes, providing you make a will accordingly. Almost inevitably they would inherit that anyway.
Yeah.
But you would need... It would be better, in your particular circumstances, to make a will to that effect.
Yeah.
Because normally, when a married couple die, and I'm not talking about every time, but when a married couple die and the house of the value is below a certain level, the house value automatically becomes a joint value, if you like. For example, if I or my wife died, then the other partner in the relationship would own the house outright.
Yeah.
Full stop. Yeah. That may not be the case for you. A, you're common law man and wife, so the laws of inheritance apply to you in an entirely different way. Indeed, you're treated as there is no inheritance. You would have to have a will. So your property value, your right to own part of the property, is not affected. Yeah. That right still remains. But of course, you've first of all got to establish that the right exists. In other words, you can only give away what you can show to be yours.
Yeah. Yeah, so you mean...
So that's the difficulty. It's a little complicated. No, it's not. It's a lot complicated. It wouldn't cost you, Diane, it wouldn't cost you a great deal of money to discuss it with a solicitor and to get some advice from a solicitor, and I honestly think you need it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, can I just ask you something else?
Very quickly.
What happens if I split up and I've got the children? You know, would he claim... Would I have to get another place?
Well, you'd have to live somewhere. If you moved out, you would have to find somewhere to live, wouldn't you? If you didn't move out, then you would be living in what we will regard as the matrimonial home.
Yeah, but what happens if I stayed in the house with the children?
Yes.
Yeah,
and he moved out?
No, if he still was here. He still wants to stay here.
Well...
I know it's all...
The question doesn't mean anything. What do you mean? What would happen? Nothing would happen. He'd stay there, you'd stay there, the kids would stay there. The question means nothing.
No. I see what you mean, yeah.
Do you mean if you all stayed there and then you died?
Yeah.
Right, if you all stayed...
I'm thinking what would happen to the kids.
What would happen to the kids?
Yeah.
It depends. Are there any other relatives? It depends on what their father, their natural father wants to do about it. It depends on it.
The father's got nothing.
Well, are we talking... you said what would happen to the kids. He doesn't need anything for something to happen to the kids.
Yeah, well,
He doesn't live in a tent, does he?
Well, he's in rented accommodation.
Well,
he's nothing.
Your question was, and just because you're in rented accommodation doesn't mean you're nothing, but the question was, what would happen to the kids? Well, I don't know. I need to know the circumstances. It's a long, long question. You need a solicitor.
Yeah.
Now, it's no good pretending you're talking to one now, because you're not.
No.
You need a solicitor, and only a solicitor can answer the questions you've got. And you need to sit down and work out what it is you want to know.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay.
It's okay.
Right, thanks
Good
very
luck.
much, Alan.
Ta-ra.
Bye.
It's now 27 minutes to midnight.
Daytime, nighttime, anytime, but sometime, visit the New Market and M2 Market, Waterloo Road, Blackpool.
Choose Macmillan's of Bolton.
Are you thinking about buying a new car? Then look no further than Macmillan's of Bolton, because if you buy a new Audi VW before the 15th of April, we'll give you a 10-day holiday in Yugoslavia for 2 people courtesy of Avalon Travel, absolutely free. That's £400 worth of holiday, free. Hurry down to Macmillan's of Bolton for your new Audi VW car at Blackburn Road, Bolton.
Macmillan's of Bolton, Macmillan's of Bolton.
Telephone Bolton 31464.
Macmillan's of Bolton, where our customers come first.
Red Rose Family Care Line, in association with J-Max, clothing stores throughout the Northwest.
Red Rose Care Line is here to help you. Whether you have a family problem and are having difficulty finding someone to talk to, whether it's a financial matter or a personal dilemma, or perhaps you just feel like a heart-to-heart, then ring Preston 24006 and speak to one of our trained counsellors.
Red Rose Care Line, in association with J-Max.
J-Max throughout the Northwest.
Hello, Don.
I do, Aaron. I just want to talk about experimenting on animals. I think it's all right for medical reasons, right, but I think it's just disgusting. I mean, when they experiment for medical. What do you think?
Well, I don't think it makes me laugh. How do Chris?
Hello, Alan. Could I have your advice, if I may, please? Ask it. I was walking down a road in Polton the other day with my girlfriend at my side, and we went round this bend on the corner where there was pavement, and this dark black van came fast round the corner, and it had, I think it was a CB aerial, waving along
It's not
top.
going to be the Van Ariel disease joke, is it?
No, Alan.
Oh.
What gave you that impression?
Get on with it.
Yeah, it was, Alan.
I thought it might be. How do, Anne?
Hello, Alan. What do you
Yeah.
call 3 condoms on a window?
Condensation?
Oh, Alan. Oh.
Good night. How do, Mike?
Hello, Alan. The FT index, right? What does it all mean? You know, the FT index is 1,592. What's that against?
It's calculated on the selling and buying price of what are known as a basket of shares. In other words, a collection of shares that only the Financial Times knows what they are.
I see.
So it's, if you like, an example of a group of shares within the stock market, the stock exchange.
Yeah, so I know about 3 months ago it was down to 990, and now it's 1,500 and something. So what does that mean? It means...
It means that the overall value of the stock exchange has probably gone up. What they've done is they've created a fictitious yardstick by which to measure the stock exchange. So they've taken what you can describe, or what they describe, as a representative collection, a representative basket of shares. If you went to a stockbroker with £1 million and asked him to invest reasonably in the stock market, not totally safe but not too risky, he would probably buy a basket of shares not dissimilar to those that represent the FT index, or that the FT index represents.
Right.
Now, all that the fluctuations in the FT index mean is, at the end of the day, they mean nothing, but they are a representative way of measuring the fluctuations in the stock exchange.
Right, thanks very much, Alan.
Okay.
Thank you.
How do Tony?
Hello, Alan?
Yep.
Alan?
Yeah.
Yes, I bought an house. I moved in January. Now, I've noticed when I moved in that there's a lot of jobs wanted doing on the house. So I got back in touch with a surveyor, the building site, to survey it, and wrote him a nasty letter, which I was told to. and they sent a surveyor round. I looked through the house, and they said they're not paying for any of the jobs to be done. No, I paid £50 when I moved in for a surveyor's report, which I have never got, and I was wondering what I could do about it.
Well, you can get a surveyor's report, a copy of the surveyor's report from your building society, assuming you borrowed money off a building society, but all that report will have done is said that the house was going to stay stood up for £50. That's the only kind of a survey you're going to get.
Yeah, but I've never got surveyor's report. Never got one.
Well, just ask your building society for a copy of it.
Just ask them for a copy?
Yeah, but all it'll say is the walls are up and it's got a roof on.
Yeah, but when I've moved in, I've noticed the roof needs doing. All the rewiring upstairs. It's damp in the kitchen.
But the survey you bought didn't ask them to survey that. You see, there are a number of different surveys.
Yeah.
If you say, will I get my money back? Should I buy this house and have to flog it? Will I get my money back? If you ask that, the surveyor will tell you that. If you ask him, is the roof completely sound? He'll check for that, but it'll take him longer, it'll cost you more.
Yeah.
A survey can cost you anything up to £1,000. Average, they're around 120, 130. If you pay less than £100, the chances are you're not getting a full survey. It varies from town to town and it varies from surveyor to surveyor. But you need to tell the surveyor what you want surveying.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, okay. Thanks all.
How do Daisy?
Hi, Alan. I want to ask you 2 questions, my love.
Go on.
First of all, you write a column in the Citizen, the free paper.
Yeah.
Could you explain to us why we don't get our paper until a Sunday when they got Saturday and Sundays TV in it?
No, I can't, but if you write to the Citizen...
I've written twice with no response.
Well, I don't know the answer to that. I only write for them. I don't distribute them. But it's somebody somewhere breaking down. I mean, in the village that I live, if you want your Citizen, you've got to go and collect it from the post office. They don't have somebody there to deliver it.
Yeah, yeah. Right, that's one thing. Now then, Red Rose advertising, they advertise a cruise on Travel World, right?
National Travel World, yes.
What did they go on, a bloody banana boat? Have you heard the hooting on that boat?
Very good. They actually, I think that's on the QE2, isn't it?
My
If I
God,
remember
it sounds
correctly.
like the banana boat.
Well, it might be the banana boat. But if Red Rose are involved, it might be the banana boat, but if National Travel World are involved, it'll be all right. But our promotions manager's just come back off one such cruise, and she managed all right.
Oh, well, that's all right.
Okay.
Yes, thanks.
Cheers, Daisy. Ta-ra. How do, Andrew?
Hello, Alan. When's your next Beswick Lodge in Southport?
17th of May, it's a Sunday. How do, John?
I'm behind you.
Come on, John, we haven't got all day to wait for you.
Oh, Alan, you say smoking's bad for you, but sex is bad for you, but people still
Doesn't
do it.
do me any harm.
But people still do it, though.
Who's told you sex is bad for you?
Well, it's AIDS.
No, AIDS is bad for you, sex isn't. Sex doesn't beget AIDS, but you can get AIDS from sex. But I've indulged on more than one occasion, and I've not got it yet, as far as I know, but I'm feeling a bit unwell today, so I may be wrong. I'll do to another John.
Hello, Alan. I bought an amplifier 5 weeks ago from the shop, and it's there's a fault in it now. I've just noticed there's differing outputs on the different channels. I took it back to the shop. He says he's tested it and he can't find anything wrong, and he's refused to change it or give me my money back. What can I do? Can I...
Well, the great difficulty is that you're not in dispute with whether he is liable to repair it or refund your money. The difficulty is there a problem with it? He says there isn't. Well, if...
And I say I am, and
Well,
I was right, of course.
The only way round it is to get somebody else to examine it and give you an engineer's report and then take it to him and say, look, that's what the problem is. All right?
I can't just do it to him direct now.
Well, there's not much point, because he's going to say there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
So you go to court and you spend 20 quid on a summons, you get to court, and the judge says, well, he says there's nothing wrong with it. What do you say then? There is, Your Honour. And the judge says, prove it. And you say, well, I'll come round our house and have a listen. And he'll say, no, thank you very much.
Fair enough. Yeah, Alan, do you do a Beswick Lodge anywhere around the North Wales area, Chester?
The nearest...
Why not?
Well, the answer is I've not been asked to.
No.
The nearest I'm doing is Southport, as far as I know. I'm doing an argue with Alan at the Superdome in Birkenhead. No, the Pleasure Dome in
When is that?
Birkenhead. I think it's the 3rd of May.
All right, that's great. Thanks a lot.
Ta-da. How do, Mavis?
Davis.
Sorry, it's Davis.
Yeah. Do you want to buy a car, Alan?
No, thank you. How do, David?
I'll bet you won't let me.
David, we're not going to wait while you shout down the phone. Beryl will be with you soon.
With spring in the air, it's now you should be thinking about buying your new fitted bedroom, and there's only one company worth contacting. That's Veal's Fitted Bedrooms of Wigan. They will design your bedroom to your specifications in traditional or modern styles, and because they manufacture in their local Wigan factory, their prices are as much as 20% lower than their competition. Call into Veal's Fitted Bedrooms today at Caroline Street, Wigan, and let us transform your bedroom. No deposit home improvement loans are available. Ask for written details or ring Veal's Fitted Bedrooms now on Wigan 322026.
Hello there. I'm just having my HGV driving lesson with North Manchester HGV. They do hourly lessons and intensive courses to put you on the right road. If you're an HGV or PSV novice, for just £30, you can have a full 2-hour assessment, including licence and medical fee. Now, if you pass with them, they'll guarantee you a job interview. So, what are you waiting for? Ring North Manchester HGV Training Centre on Bolton 23235. That's Bolton 23235.
Allan Beswick.
Yeah, how do somebody have forgotten who, Alice? Where am I going? Nobody knows. Beryl.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, Beryl.
Last Tuesday you mentioned axle rods
Aye.
on Smithdown Road.
I did. And poor man's A.L.A. Mort now.
Pardon?
He's dead now, isn't he?
Is he dead? Oh, now you're telling me something.
Somebody came on last night and told me you were dead.
Oh, I was going to tell you about his wife dying and he left, but I didn't know he died.
Good Lord, they're all keeling over. Mind you, he was knocking on a bit, let's be fair. He was knocking on a bit. It was a smashing place, though, wasn't it? A great shop.
Yeah.
Where are these great shops of today? There used to be a shop in Ormskirk not many years ago, about 10 years ago. And I don't know what's there now, but it used to be like a wooden floor with sawdust, and they had hams and sausages hanging in the roof, like the old co-op.
They've all gone.
When we used to go to the co-op when my mum went, I'm not allowed to call her my mum. She goes berserk if I call her my mum. I have to call her my mum. Aren't they funny women?
Yeah.
Anyway, mind you, they're not half as funny as men. But we used to go to the co-op in Orford Lane in Warrington, and they used to have wires going all over the ceiling. And they used to pull a lever, and this thing went, and they put your money in it, and pull an angle, and off it went. And your money went into this central point where a man just undid the cup and put your change in and sent it back to you on the wire. It was wonderful.
Well, they had one in Alton, about 10 years ago. I don't know whether it's still there or not.
Should be with that. I mean, they should bring it all back. Never mind these crappy Arndale centres. Let's have a bit of the old proper co-ops. That's what we want, innit?
When are you coming to Liverpool to do... Are you doing anything in Liverpool anytime?
I've not been invited.
Oh.
I'm doing Birkenhead. I'm doing Southport. If someone in Liverpool wants to invite me and come and do one. One fella phoned me up and then wrote to me, but he couldn't afford me because I'm not cheap.
Oh, heck.
Sadly.
Oh, and I was going to invite you here. Oh, heck.
Well, you never know, Beryl. I mean, £3 and I'm anybody's.
Oh, listen. Next October, I want to make you something, which you could raffle.
You want to make me
But
something?
I don't want to tell you about it.
All right, well, I look forward to that then.
But I don't want anybody to...
Well, listen,
copy it.
make it before October, because in June or July, I'm not sure when, but in June or July, we're having an auction day.
Oh, lovely.
Now, that might be a better time to get rid of it,
I
because we're
see.
doing it then
You
for
might
the
not
winged...
want to get rid of it when you see it.
Ah, well, that's another thing. If it's a willy warmer, I'll be in there. I'll tell you, I have a lot of trouble with that late at night. When I come out of here. I better not say that. I said that once about my apple, didn't I? I said an apple warmer. I got 100 of the damn things. So don't be sending me willy warmers. But if you do, the smallest size will cover it. All right, Beryl. Cheers,
Okay,
love.
thank you.
Ta-ra. I'll do, Joe.
I'd like to talk about prisons, please.
Go on, then.
Well, I think that in certain aspects of prisons that the lifestyle inside the prison is too good.
And tell me what you mean by certain aspects, first of all.
Or certain cases, I'll just rephrase that statement. Because I've looked up in some books from the library, and in some prisons they have TVs, and it's not that luxurious, but I think it's too luxurious for prisoners.
What do you think the purpose of prison is?
Pardon?
What do you think the purpose of prison is?
It's to punish someone for
Yes.
doing an act.
Do you think that's the only purpose? Just to punish?
No.
No. Well, what do you think the other purpose or purposes?
To guard someone.
To guard them.
Well, like, if someone murdered a child, then not only is it to punish them, but they have to be guarded from the child's parents and stuff.
So, I don't think we can agree that the purpose of prison is protective custody, because a prisoner is not in protective custody. They're not in custody for their own good, because they're at greater risk. If they've murdered a child, they're at greater risk in prison.